What up? What up? What up? What is going on, man? Just wanted to check y'all out, see what was what. Chime in today. So probably should have turned that light off behind me, but y'all will figure it out. Y'all will figure it out. What's up, Norman? What's up, Jar Devil? What's happening, people? What is happening? One thing is, I feel good. I did my taxes today, and I don't have to pay. Matter of fact, I get a refund. Shoot. So I'm feeling good about that today. I don't like going and do taxes, but it is what it is, man. What's going on, Kenneth? How you doing, brother? How you doing, man? Look, so word is coming out about the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers and what seems to be holding up this deal. It's coming down to money. Money is that the Steelers have offered Aaron Rodgers a deal. It's a 1-year deal, and they haven't budged. They offered what now they don't talk about specifics. They haven't got specific money, but the Steelers have offered this and they haven't budged, and it's like Aaron Rodgers wants more. So, and I love the fact that the Steelers are holding strong. Diana Rossini, who's pretty plugged into all of this stuff, she reported that, it's about money, that Aaron Rodgers wants more money to play for the Steelers because the Steelers need him. And the Steelers are like, we need you, but we're not coming off this number. I love that approach. I love that approach, man. Is that, we need you. That you're exactly right, Mark Malone. Rodgers is trying to squeeze him. And because she talks about that, hey, Rodgers would take less money to go to a perceived Super Bowl contender like Minnesota. But the Steelers need him. So he's like, well, if you need me, I'm going to play my cards and I'm going to try to get as much money out as you can. And look, at this point, the Steelers are holding strong like, no. Look, we want you. We absolutely want you. But this is what we're going to give you. We're not going to give you a penny more. Now, maybe that changes as we get closer to mini camp, OTA, stuff like that. But to me, I just think, I don't think the Steelers need to budge one bit. Not one bit. So, look, I don't think he understands that. First of all, as Steeler fans, we know that the Rooneys are cheap as all get out. Now, don't get me wrong. You got to spend a certain amount of money on the salary cap no matter what. But the Steelers are notoriously cheap. And look, we want you, but here's what we're going to give you. That's it. And if you don't want it, okay, fine. We're going to go somewhere else. So, I just, Mick Swagger said Rodgers is like Durant. He destroys teams. I mean, I don't know if he destroys teams. He might have destroyed the Jets. I don't know about anybody else. But, hey, what's going on, Andre? My weekend's going great, man. I went and had my taxes done and getting a refund. Anytime you can get a refund on your taxes, that's a good thing. So, Minka, sorry. Big pun. Look, I'm starting to think that you don't understand football, my man. I'm starting to think that you don't understand football. If you think that Mika Fitzpatrick is not any good. I just don't think big pun. I think he gets set in his way. First of all, he's on a ton of liquor, and I don't think he understands football very much. What's going on, Vaughn? Everybody who knows football understand what his issue is. It ain't that he ain't any good. They're not asking him to do a whole lot of stuff. So Rodgers needs to humble himself at this point. So he's just strangling NFL teams for money. I mean, you're not wrong, Mick Swagger. Hey, Arch Baby Doll, I didn't see you. What's going on? So, now that's where I'm going to disagree with you, Kenneth McNair. I don't know if he's a great asset at $18 million. I just know he's a great player. He's just getting paid too much. That doesn't mean he's not any good, though. So to say that Mika's not good means either you just don't like him or you don't understand football. But he's still good. Eric Reed didn't come off any street and outperform Minka. Stop. I'm a big pun. I got to stop responding to you. Sorry. I mean, I can't. And this is the forum to respond to everybody. But when you say stupid stuff, I'm just not going to pay attention to you. Did it to yourself. Handyman, yes. And I know you meant to say Mika, not miniature. I'm with you. Don't worry about it. Yeah, they're just not using him the way that I wouldn't even say the way that he needs to be used. They're just asking him to do a lot less. So if you're asking him to do a lot less, then why are you paying him that kind of money? What's up, brother, man? What's going on? Oh, without Mika, the secondary would be worse? You're 1,000% correct. You're 1,000% correct. Nah, I'm not going to say we owe anybody any money. I don't think it works that way. Just not according to me. Lee Smith with the super chat says, I love your show. You aren't with the BS. You keep it real. This is why I will always support your show. I appreciate it, Lee. That is all I'm ever going to do is tell the truth, at least my truth. And I'm going to be honest. And if I'm wrong, I will 1,000,000% tell you that I'm wrong. But the thing about Mika's fine. If Mika was, first of all, there would be nobody, including myself, complaining about Mika Fitzpatrick if he was making $9 million a year. Like, nobody would be complaining about that, about what he does. We're complaining because they're not asking him to do a lot, and he makes $18 million. If that wasn't the case, it'd be a totally different situation. A totally different situation. So you can't ask a guy to make that. So you can't ask a guy to do that. You just can't. So it's crazy. I'm just looking up something here. I'm going to say it on your platform first. Kyle McCord is going to ball out on the next level. Big time sleeper quarterback. Let's go Steelers. Big B, what do you think? I think that you have heard me say something about Kyle McCord before, and there's people that have been in here and they'll justify it. I think Kyle McCord is better than Will Howard. I think Kyle McCord is absolutely one of the sleeper quarterbacks. I think Kyle McCord was the scapegoat for what went wrong with Ohio State the previous year, that they blamed everything on him. And they said, well, it's Kyle McCord's fault. It's his fault. And he went to Syracuse and was just fine. I wholeheartedly believe that. So I think you're right. I think Kyle McCord is just fine. Big B's drinking again. I'm not drinking yet. And you know what I'm never going to drink? I'm never going to drink that damn Thunderbird. My God. You know what I had to do? We had the big show the other night when y'all went off the rails, is that I had to ask my mom about Thunderbird. And of course, see, my father's been dead. It'll be 35 years on the 7th, or 34 years on the 7th. And I had to ask her. My mom has been blaming my dad for stuff for 34 years that he isn't here to defend himself. And of course, she said, "Oh, yeah, your father loved a Thunderbird." I'm like, here we go. Here we go. Man been dead for over 30 years, can't defend himself. And the reason is, I know what it is. My mom was on that Thunderbird. That's what it was. My mom was on that yak. And she wants to blame him. Oh, man. So Kenneth McNair, my point is 18 million is like 12 million 3 years ago. We have to start looking at cap percentages instead of just, nah, not necessarily, man. Not necessarily. I get your sentiment, Mr. McNair, as far as you have to look at cap percentages. But what about the number that if you don't give Minkah that number, let's just say you cut it in half and you give him $9 million. You could buy 2 other offensive linemen with that money. That's what I'm talking about. $18 million is $18 million, any way you slice it. Any way you slice it. Thunderbird and Night Train, Lord have mercy. Y'all are alcoholics, man. Y'all are killing me. So we would have kept Minkah if we didn't pay him at that time. No, what I'm saying is nobody is blaming Pittsburgh for giving Minkah Fitzpatrick the $18 million at the time. Nobody's blaming him for that. But at the time, Minkah Fitzpatrick was being asked to do a hell of a lot more than what he's doing right now. And so if they would still ask him to do the same things, I don't think anybody would really have a problem. I know I wouldn't. But they're not asking him to do the same things. And what I'm saying is you're paying this man $18 million to do the job that somebody that normally to do that job is getting paid $6 to $7 million. That's all I'm saying, brother. So that's all I'm saying. Nobody's upset that he got the $18 million when he did. What people are upset is you're now not asking him to do the same things that you were asking him to do when you gave him the $18 million. So that's all. That's all. I don't know why they're using him that way. I don't know. Arch Baby Doll, would you pay $18 million for a guy who only had one splash play all season? That's the issue. And I don't even know if you want to call that Ravens interception really a splash play. I mean, we all watched the game. The receiver stopped on the route. And because Bateman stopped on the route, if he'd have kept running, it's a completion. But because he stopped, Minkah was standing there and the ball got thrown right to him. Yes, I think we should take him if he falls. Brother, man, I've absolutely been ready for the Final Four. I got Duke and I got Florida. That's who I think is going to win. Now, here's the thing. I do a Big 12 Insider show, so I am rooting for Houston to win. I just don't think they're going to win. I think Duke's the best team in the country. So, I don't think they're going to win, Houston, but I want them to win. So, but yeah, for Shedeur, absolutely. Once we get some better DBs, that's the Steelers. Tom will, yeah. That's part of the problem. Is that they don't trust the defensive backs not to get beat deep. They don't trust the corners. And since you don't trust the corners, You have to have Minka back there. That's one of the big problems that nobody seems to want to talk about. Again, I understand it, but that still doesn't change the fact that you shouldn't pay this man $18 million. It doesn't change the fact, because he's absolutely capable of doing a hell of a lot more than what he's doing. That's the whole thing. But you are exactly right, Vaughn. Once we get better cornerback play, maybe they can ask him to do more. Maybe they will. But that was part of his problem last year. They didn't want to. I don't think anybody was playing out of position last year, unless you want to say Broderick. But I think the one thing that nobody wants to admit about Broderick Jones is Broderick Jones didn't beat Dan Moore out for the left tackle job. And I don't think enough people want to just admit that. He didn't beat him out. So because he didn't beat him out, he didn't play there. Minka's got 2 more. Bro, man, don't get me started on why the Steelers don't use a fullback. Don't get me started on that. I'll be here all day cussing at the screen. We play that way. We line guys up in the backfield as a fullback and use them as what a fullback would do. Only instead of that, we're using Connor Hayward, who's not a good blocker. And he damn sure isn't a good straight line blocker, having to take on either pulling on a counter play, having to block a defensive end, or straight line blocking a linebacker. He ain't no good at that, but yet we literally will not use a fullback. It just blows my mind why the Steelers won't do that. So they won't upgrade the cornerback position early in the draft. Willie Nelson, I'm afraid you might be right. You just might be right. Nah, I don't want to crash out on you. I don't want to crash out. I don't want to do that. But why they don't use I just can't understand. A team like an offense with Arthur Smith as your offensive coordinator, who wants to run the ball, who wants to be physical in running the ball, but you know what? We're not going to try to utilize who could possibly be the best blockers on an offensive unit we want to run the football. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. No. I mean, they had a fullback last year on the practice squad all year. But what the hell for? Jack Coletta was on the practice squad. Why the hell wasn't he on the team? Makes no sense how the Steelers keep plugging fullbacks when they've seen it works for yes, self-made. Yes, it works. It still works. You can still use a fullback. But we just don't do it. I don't know. Then why not draft a corner high, says my man Anthony. Up until they drafted JPJ, they never drafted. No, they did. You got to remember, Steelers got burned a couple of times on corners. Remember Artie Burns? Steelers got burned, and they might still have PTSD from Artie Burns. But here's my thing. You're right. The Steelers don't draft them well. Let's just say they don't draft cornerbacks well. Okay. But they had a hell of a lot of money to go buy one this offseason. They had that. They could have done that. They easily could have done that. But they didn't. I was screaming. So, will you please put Milroe in the first to bed? Like, are you saying stop talking about Jalen Milroe in the first? Because I've never, ever talked about drafting Jalen Milroe in the first round. Not a day in my life. And I'm never going to talk about it. Not one single day. Oh, okay. So you're saying no. Yeah, no. I'm never talking about drafting Jalen Milroe in the first round or the second round or the third round. Jesus. Y'all can be interested, though. I did a quarterback show that we'll get up here sometime. And I did a quarterback show and with my man CJ, and he's a quarterback guru, studies quarterbacks that are currently in the league and upcoming guys. So we'll get that out to you guys. But yeah, we did that show. Y'all be interested because basically what CJ says as far as quarterbacks that he likes is the exact opposite of who I like. Like, he likes Jackson Dart. I don't like Jackson Dart. He likes Jalen Milroe. I don't like Jalen Milroe. Now, he didn't say draft any of those guys in the first round. So I don't want to spoil it or anything like that. He didn't say anything like that. But y'all will be interested to hear some of his takes. So, I don't think Kenneth Grant's going to be available at 21. I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. I'd rather draft Howard in the 4th than Dart in the 1st. You got that right. So, Minka is not good anymore. Vincent, you got to watch more football, brother. We have a lot of holes to fill in the draft. Need to pick the best players available with the pick they have. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if the Steelers traded back a few picks. Some people are saying, hey, trade back to 32. I'm like, no. The Steelers don't need to trade back that far. Because again, the Steelers need players, but you also need to have access to as many of the best players possible in the draft. So you can't go from 21 to 32. Not unless you get a 2nd and a 3rd round pick in this draft. But even then, 32 is Philadelphia. You're going to be picking at the bottom of the 2nd and the bottom of the 3rd. Not sure it makes a lot of sense. Not to me. Arch Baby Dolls, who do you think from the draft will make a good nose tackle for us? Kenneth Grant. I'm starting to jump up about Derek Harmon. A lot of people are talking about Grant. If Grant's not available, Harmon should be, and I would take him too. I like him too. If, Brown Squid, you're 1,000,000% correct. This QB class ain't good enough to be moving up for nobody. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. Ohio State, Will Howard's a scrub. Well, I watched him for 4 years at Kansas State. Watched him some at Ohio State. He's not a scrub. He's not the greatest quarterback, but scrub, no, he's not. In one football game, let's just say he played bad against Michigan. He didn't play bad against anybody else, and he was the MVP of the national championship against the top 5 defense in Notre Dame. So there's that. Yeah, draft one till we hit, man. You're exactly right. Keeps talking about his small lower half and just flashing on tape for Derek Harmon. I mean, Derek Harmon he's not as good as Kenneth Grant. I'm not going to say that, but he would fit what the Steelers need. That's for sure. He would fit what the Steelers need, no doubt. No doubt. What did Minka do that was bad last year? Since Minka's not any good anymore. Sorry, dude. Exactly. Harmon can move people. He can move people, and when he gets double teamed, he doesn't get moved. I wouldn't be mad if the Steelers drafted a cornerback in the first round. I know we need a defensive tackle, but I wouldn't be mad if the Steelers said, you know what, in the first round, this is a first round talent and he's there. If none of the defensive tackles are there, I wouldn't be mad about that at all. I wouldn't be mad at all. I don't think they're going to do that, but if If none of the D tackles that are first round worthy are still available, if they're gone, don't reach for one because there's plenty. And if a cornerback is there and you got that kind of grade on them, take them. Take them. It's not like we don't need a corner. So Harmon got to 310, but Harmon played at 310. He got there for the combine. Yeah, there's a lot of people talking about that he plays around 325, but he lost weight for the combine. Now, if that turns out not to be true, that he is only 310 pounds, well, he can't be our nose tackle, not at 310. I'm sorry, that's not how that works anymore. But that's the word on the street about Harmon, is that he lost weight for the combine. But that's not the weight that he plays at. I don't want Golden in the first. I'd feel horrible about that. And I'm just genuinely opposed to taking a running back in the first round. Unless it's a Saquon Barkley, a Derek, somebody like that. Okay. But I'm just generally opposed to, especially in a running back draft like this. So many running backs out there. Will Howard's not winning a natty playing at Pitt. Well, neither would any quarterback playing with the guys that are at Pitt. And they weren't going to win a national title either. So what's your point? Other than you just don't think Will Howard's any good, but you brought up instances that didn't make sense. So I get it. But yeah, he absolutely benefited from playing against good competition. But you know what? He also played good. What's up, Forever? How you doing? I'm doing good, Zay Curry. Man, I think we should take a running back in the third round. I would love it if the Steelers traded back 5 or 6 picks and were able to pick up a second round, or even if we picked up an extra third, use that and combine it with something else and get a second round pick, because I would love for us to be able to take one in the second round. So that's the round that I would love if we had a set, but we don't. Let's not talk about hypothetical stuff. Let's not do that because we can't, oh, well, I would love to have a second round pick. Well, we don't have a second round pick. So until we do, let's just talk about stuff that can actually happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like too many times, I do it too. I'm not any different than you all. I talk about hypothetical football and stuff like that all the time. And then I catch myself and I'm like, well, hold on. We can't talk about stuff that's not going to be reality. Let's talk about reality because that's the only thing that matters. What position do you think they will draft first? Defensive tackle. I don't like Caleb Johnson. I haven't liked him since the very beginning of the process. I haven't liked him since the beginning. I shouldn't say I don't like him. Let me clarify that again, that for you, brother man. It's not that I don't like him. I think he's a good football player. I just think there's better running backs that will be available. That's all. That's all. Yeah, it's not that I don't like Caleb Johnson. I just think there's guys that are better than him. What about Kentucky kid at corner, Hairston? Love him. Love him. Don't think the Steelers will be able to get him because, again, we don't have a second round pick. And he's probably not going in the first, but he'll go in the second, and the Steelers won't have an opportunity for that. No, you're fine, Ali, talking about don't like having. I mean, all you said was you don't like that we don't have a second round pick. There ain't nothing wrong with not liking it. I don't like it either. That's what I was saying. I don't like us not having it. But here's the thing. We actually did have one. It was DK Metcalf. And I don't know. I'm just going to throw this out there and you all can agree or disagree. The Steelers aren't drafting anybody that's going to be as good as DK Metcalf in the second round. I don't believe that. So, Yes, Johnson did run through a lot of big holes, and he's not that fast. He's got a little bit of a different style than Najee, but the same explosiveness. So yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. My man Jason Rutledge, what's going on, Rut? Yeah, Maxwell Harrison. He first of all, he's a speed demon. He's a slot corner. If Maxwell Harrison made his way onto the Steelers roster, Beanie Bishop would get cut. I can tell you that right now. Because I don't think, first of all, the Steelers signed Brandon Eccles. He can play inside. He's going to have that job. Unless he's just not any good, which I find it hard to believe that the Steelers would have went out of their way if this guy can't play slot corner. They signed him. He played a pretty damn good job of it with the Jets. Beanie Bishop's got to figure some stuff out. How many first-round D tackles in this draft? Oh, maybe 6? Maybe 6? Doesn't mean that's how many are going to get drafted, but potential 6. But there's a boatload of them, of good ones, not just run-of-the-mill guys. Sorry, guys, I didn't turn off that light. I can run back and turn it off if you guys want me to, because I know every time I move my head, that probably shines in y'all's face. I apologize. Beanie's too small for the position. I don't disagree. The one thing about Beanie, though, he's a good tackler. So, Handicart Mexican says with the super chat, appreciate the support, man. He says trade back a little DT first, running back second, wide receiver third, QB fourth. I mean, I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. And if the Steelers move back, I just don't want to move them back too far. That's all. And to get a second round pick, they're probably going to have to move back a little bit, probably more than my liking. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're probably going to have to move back to like 28, 29. And that's, for me, that's too much. For you guys, you may be okay with it. You might be okay with it. Yeah, because, I mean, you look at any draft. Look, y'all know me. I'm not a huge, nerd analytic guy. But the bottom line is that there's certain metrics that NFL teams use. And this trade metrics is one of them. This draft day trade metrics, that's one of them that they use and they stick with. And if you're at 21, to get a second round pick, you're going to have to move back to a minimum, like Somber said, 28. I mean, that's at a minimum 28. And I'll ask you guys, because that's what this forum is all about, have us just talking, having fun. If we move back from 21 to 28 to get a second round pick, are you guys okay with that? I mean, do y'all think that would be okay? Because again, you're giving up access to really good football players. So, Beanie was a rookie undrafted free agent. Okay. Yeah. Some of you say yes, some of you say no. To me, it's interesting. And just 28 seems like, and we need players. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Somber is 100% right. And I've said it all along. That's why I keep saying, people say, well, move up to get a quarterback. I'm like, hell no. The Steelers need players. They don't need to be giving up draft capital. Super chat from Trez Tobbs or Trees Top. I appreciate the support, man. Thank you. Hoping to get Dart or a D tackle that can rush the passer. I say don't move back. I'm with you with the D tackle that can rush the passer. I am just not with you with Dart. I'm not. If we don't have a top 10 QB, you got to build around the guy you have. My whole thing is, whether you have your QB or not, just build your team. Just build up around it. And then if you have a guy that you think is the guy, figure it out. But think of it as the 49ers. The 49ers just built a football team. Now, granted, they lucked into Brock Purdy, but they just said, we're going to get as many good football players as we possibly can, and then we're going to go from there. So, Vaughn says move back. Forever says move back. Dart is Pickett. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm sorry. I think Jackson Dart is Kenny Pickett. So, and again, there's plenty of you that disagree and think that I'm wrong. And you can think that. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. I just don't trust it. I wouldn't, if we had a second to move up 10 spots, no. Like if the Steelers had a second round pick and you took your first and your second to move up 10 spots in the draft, hell no. Absolutely not. Nah, I'm just not. Here's the thing about Dart is I'm the type of guy, and maybe I'm biased, and you guys can say that I'm biased because I played college football. And you guys understand football. Like we don't have a lot of people, and I know I joke with y'all, and y'all say some crazy stuff, but we've kind of built a community here where you all understand football. And so I just ask you this question. How do you get better at football without playing football? Like, how do you get better from January 1st to draft day? How are you getting better? Like all these people, like Jackson Dart has been a third or fourth round. See you, brother, man. Appreciate you being in here, man. But how do you get better at football? Like to move up in the draft. Now, I'm not saying you can't get better skills, but that's not what people are talking about. That's not what they're talking about. And we see it every year. Every year we see a guy, remember, I mean, just the latest example would be old boy from the Jets. I can't even remember his name. His last name's Wilson, Zach Wilson. Remember, nobody was talking about him being a first round pick. All of a sudden, he makes a throw on air in shorts at his pro day. All of a sudden, he goes up to the second pick of the draft. So it's crazy. Kenneth McNair, thanks for support, man. We really appreciate it. He's got a super chat. The way to look at the QB situation this year is to ask which QB would be better than Mason Rudolph as a starter for the season. I don't disagree with that at all. I don't. And I know there's everybody out there that says you're not going to win a Super Bowl with Mason Rudolph as your quarterback. I believe that. I just don't think the Steelers are a quarterback away from winning a Super Bowl either. But I will say this about Rudolph, and I've said it, and I'm going to continue to say it. If everybody's healthy and everybody stays the same, the Steelers will win a minimum of 10 games with Mason Rudolph as the quarterback. That will happen. Now, doesn't mean we're going to win a playoff game. Doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean that at all. But the Steelers can win and will win 10 games if he's the quarterback. Yeah, Chris Sims is crazy, bro. You know that, Anthony. You know that. He's nuts. He's nuts. He said you can get better with a VR headset connected to the starter's helmet. That's why we love Ollie, man. Rodgers is better than Rudolph. Yeah, he is. He is. Absolutely, Jeffrey. Mason is absolutely a bridge quarterback that you can start for you. Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, Steelers can win 10 games with Mason Rudolph as their quarterback. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, man. What's going on, Robert? How you doing? Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. But yeah, that's my whole thing with it. You know, we'll see. But I do like how the Steelers are playing hardball with Rodgers. It's like, hey, We offered you this. It was 4 weeks ago. We're not budging. We're not budging. So you can either take it or you can leave it. And I don't know. Like you said, he's trying to squeeze us. He's trying to squeeze us. So, I don't know, Big Pun, if the Steelers roster is superior to. That's strong to say they're superior to Buffalo. I don't know. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. I don't think it's that far off. You're not crazy for saying that. I just don't know if it's superior. The one reason is I like Buffalo's defense. I like their defense better than the Steelers. Yeah, I like their defense better than the Steelers. So I don't know if it's superior or not. My phone's not getting the chat, so if I have to look over at my laptop, y'all don't be offended. But you're not crazy. You're not crazy. You know, it's close. It's damn close. But you're right. If you put Josh Allen on the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Steelers are Super Bowl contenders. With the current roster, the way that it is right now, yeah, the Steelers are Super Bowl contenders. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And that's why everybody, it's like we're not one player away, but Josh Allen is different. Josh Allen is different. And because I know what people are going to say, well, come on, Big B, you said they're not one player away. Yeah, I'm not talking about Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. You know, I'm not talking about those guys or Lamar Jackson. As much as we beat Lamar Jackson, do you know how good the Steelers would be if Lamar Jackson was our quarterback? I know we don't like him, and we're not supposed to like him. But you can't tell me that the Pittsburgh Steelers wouldn't be a Super Bowl contender if Lamar was our quarterback, especially for all the people that were screaming for Justin Fields. You're telling me Lamar's on the team and we're not a Super Bowl contender with the roster the way that it is right now? Give me a break. Give me a break. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is that the Steelers, you know, there's levels to one player, and the Steelers just need a quarterback. That's all there is to it. They just need a quarterback. I'm going to move this back here so that it's closer to my laptop to see, because the chat on my phone stopped working. So I'm going to look at this. I didn't go to Louisville. I'm from Louisville. So yes, that makes me a diehard Louisville fan. And unfortunately, I know you all are going to hate me. Unfortunately, I like Lamar Jackson, but I don't hide that. I just hope he plays horrible when he plays the Steelers. Somber says he was arguing with Ravens fans on Twitter about that. Like, bro, we're 1 or 2 games behind you without a franchise guy. Exactly. You know, it's not like that the Ravens are just light years ahead of the Steelers. Matter of fact, we beat them this year. We beat them. You know? Now, granted, the last 2 games, those games weren't close. I mean, what are we going to do? What are we going to lie? Can't lie. The games weren't close. But we beat them this year. So, yeah, no, that's the thing, man, is that I want Lamar Jackson to play the worst game of his NFL career every single time he plays the Pittsburgh Steelers. Every single time. But I get tired of the narrative of people saying he can't pass, he can't do that. To me, it's ignorant. So. Yeah, I mean, Jeff Brom's got it's so difficult as a Steelers fan because you just don't know if Tomlin's ever going to hire a real offensive guy. Like, we just don't know if he's ever going to do that. So, at some point, he's got to do that, doesn't he? Here we go. He can't pass, though. He can definitely pass. So, Lamar is a hard dude to dislike. Like, he does things right off the field. He gives back to his community. Like, he is a good dude. He just plays for the wrong team. You know what I'm saying? Don't you hate those guys? Guys that are good football players, good guys off the field, does things right, but they play for the wrong team? Ugh. I hate it. I hate it. So, super chat by Joseph, man. We appreciate you. Do you feel Aaron Rodgers, or with Aaron Rodgers, will finally have someone to be able to throw in the middle? First off, yes. If Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, the Steelers will be throwing the ball over the middle of the field. First, and another thing, that's DK Metcalf lives in the middle of the field. Now, I know he catches stuff down outside the numbers deep, but DK Metcalf goes over the middle of the field. Then now the Steelers got to throw it to him, but that's something that he does. That's something he does. So, well, Vaughn, that's the thing about respecting guys. Like, there's certain guys, for instance, Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of us that don't like Aaron Rodgers, but at least you respect his ability. You respect his ability. So, it is what it is. And see, and Jeffrey is saying it way better than what he was in college. I mean, Lamar Jackson threw for over 9,000 yards in college in a pro system. So while we say he wasn't a good passer in college, you don't throw for over 9,000 yards not being able to throw the football. That's just not something that happens. But I get your sentiment, though. I get what you're saying. Do you think DK and George will gel? Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. Uh-oh. Somber. He respects LeBron, but he's a Jordan guy. Yeah, I can't get into that, man. Too many people get butthurt. Somber. You know how it is. You know how people get butthurt with that conversation. So, Russell Wilson is going to the Giants, my man. So, SEC would have ate Lamar up. Nah. No, they wouldn't have. Because Clemson was every bit as good as any SEC team, and ask them, did they eat Lamar Jackson up? But it's weird. He's in the National Football League, and nobody's eating him up. But apparently a SEC team would eat him up. It's wild. Wild analogies, boy. People will say anything on the internet. Big B, you think they should go after Jackson Dart in the third round? What do you think? I'm not a Jackson Dart fan, but if it was the third round, I'd be okay with it. So, from Vincent Miller, you're from Indianapolis? I was just there last weekend for the Indiana State Finals. You're correct, Somber. It was. NFL isn't eating Lamar up, but he chokes in the playoffs. Now, you're 100% right about that. You can be the biggest Lamar Jackson fan on earth. You can't deny that the man has choked in the playoffs. You can't. And even though this past year he got him back into the football game, if he doesn't make the mistakes in the first half, they win. You just, at some point, he's got to overcome that. And it is what it is. Sorry, you lost. I don't want to hear it. 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 So, yeah, we need a good running back. I mean, they're already talking about Jaylen Warren not being the guy. So, yeah, Mark Andrews didn't have his best game against the Bills. But again, Lamar Jackson had 2 turnovers. One of them was an inexcusable, well, both a horrible interception and an inexcusable fumble. Can't have it. Can't have it. Think about this. People still kill. Remember the Super Bowl, what was it, 2 years ago when Philly lost to the Chiefs? Well, I guess it was 3 years ago when Philly lost to the Chiefs. But Jalen Hurts outplayed Patrick Mahomes, and it wasn't even close. Yet, Jalen Hurts made a turnover that led to a touchdown, got blamed. I mean, you can't make turnovers. You just can't turn the football over. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. Cannot do it. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Can't turn the football over. I don't want to hear the excuses. First of all, what excuse is there for fumbling a football? Unless you get knocked out or your leg gets broken or your arm gets broken or something like that, unless you get injured. If you get injured on a play, I will 1,000,000% give you an excuse for fumbling a football. But if that doesn't happen, I just don't give you passes for that. You might say, "Oh, come on, Big B, you're being too hard. You never had to catch a ball in the NFL." You're right, I didn't. But they also don't pay me to do it either. But I just don't give people those excuses. It's kind of like my whole, I don't give people excuses for bad play if they're out there injured. Like if you're out there, they don't say, "Hey man, go ahead and go play, but it's okay if you play bad. I know you're hurt, so go play bad." No, that's not the case. You may not play up to snuff, but that doesn't give you the excuse to play bad because you're hurt. That doesn't give you that excuse. No, they're not going to pay me for nothing, Zay Curry. They're not going to pay me anything. They're not going to pay me anything. And I'm not asking them to. It's too much responsibility. Too much responsibility. If they could get Jackson Dart, that would be nice. Oh, so many people love Jackson Dart. Why? Why do we love him? Oh. But here's the thing. Because let's just say the Steelers draft Jackson Dart, wherever they draft him, and he turns out to be a really good quarterback. My thing is, "Well, Big B, you were wrong." Okay, I was wrong. But you know what? Guess who's good? The Pittsburgh Steelers. So I can be wrong. They don't pay me to be right. If the Steelers were paying me to be right, we could have that kind of conversation. But they don't pay me to be right. So I don't have to like Jackson Dart. And if we draft him and he turns out to be our quarterback for the next decade because he's that good, okay, I was wrong. I'll lose a few subscribers. I'll gain a few. And we're all going to be happy. You know why? Because the Steelers are winning. And ultimately, that's all we care about. That's all we care about. I've told y'all this. I'll continue to say it. I'm sure some of you guys get tired of hearing me say it. It could be a field mouse as the Steelers quarterback. I don't care. As long as we win football games and win playoff games. Playoff games. I don't care who it is. I don't care. So, Rodgers isn't an elite quarterback anymore. Nope, he's not. Oh. There's always ignorant people that come onto these vertical lives. I apologize. You got to get some of these people out of here. Yeah, Vaughn, that's just how I feel, man. I don't care. I literally don't care. You can be a field mouse. You can be a gopher. I don't care. If you can throw the ball over the middle and read a defense and get the ball out on time and be accurate, I don't care what you are. I literally don't care. You can be a zebra for all I care. just do that and I'll be fine. Nah, I have a mod. He comes in every now and then. I'm sure he's busy with kids today, but I can handle it. It's all good. That's why when we do the verticals, I got my laptop sitting right here. I got it right here. Forever, I'm always going to keep it 100%, man. Always. Rodgers has no future. If he's on the Steelers, we're not asking him to have a future. I think that's what people keep saying is like, oh, well, Rodgers doesn't have a future. Well, they're not paying him for the future. They're paying him for right now, like right this very second. Man, don't hate mock drafts. I used to hate mock drafts too, but they're fun. They're fun. Nobody knows how it's going to go, so you can't predict anything. People are always trying to predict. Who thought 12 or 6 quarterbacks were going to go in the top 12 picks last year? Nobody thought that. And if anybody gets on here and says that they were going to, and I know somebody will, you're lying your ass off. Nobody knew that. That's why I like mock drafts, is because nobody knows how it's going to go. So we're just predicting stuff. And nobody's ever right. That's the one thing about a mock draft. You find somebody that says, oh, my mock draft was right, there's your liar. Never talk to them about anything about football again because they're just lying. I mean, you may not even want to talk to them anymore because they're lying their ass off. Just lying their ass off. There is nobody, and I repeat, nobody that gets mock drafts right. That just doesn't happen. Just doesn't happen. So if they say they are, they're just lying. Yeah, man, my first 4 rounds of the mock. Somebody was arguing with me about that online 2 days ago. Yeah, man, for the last 2 years, the first 4 rounds of my draft have all been correct. Huh? First of all, if true, then why aren't you a billionaire? Because you should be playing the lottery every day. That's number one. Number two, you need to be working for somebody's franchise because you know something that they don't know. It's always something, boy. There's no better options at 21. And there's no quarterback that we're going to draft that's going to be better than Aaron Rodgers next year. I don't believe so. Maybe. It's unfortunate this is where we're at, but this is where we're at. It's unfortunate that the Steelers have put themselves in this position, but we're in this position. So, okay, we got to get idiots out of here. Man, now Gino and Joseph, don't start that. Don't start that. Alonzo Dunn in the yard working. Caught the show late. I'm listening. Don't worry about it, brother. We appreciate your support, man. We appreciate your support. These lives that I do, I just periodically, I'm like, you know what? I haven't talked to my people. We didn't do a podcast yesterday. So I'm like, I haven't talked to my people in a couple of days. Let's talk to my people, man. Let's talk to my people. So, man, Gino, Joseph, don't start lying. Don't do that. I shouldn't say you're lying. I'm saying don't do that. Don't turn first of all, if the Giants become good this year, you're telling me you ain't going back? You're telling me you ain't going back? Don't start. Don't you start. Don't you do. You've been on the Thunderbird. You've been on that Thunderbird early. Tell me if the Giants don't make the playoff, they win the division and go to the playoff, you ain't going back to being a Giants fan. Stop it. Stop it right now. Stop it right now. And first of all, how are you a Giants fan? And then, well, I'm an Eagles fan. Because as a Giants fan, you have to hate the Eagles. You went on that Thunderbird. I don't know where you're at. It's 2:00 here. First of all, it ain't late enough for Thunderbird. Thunderbird is that last drink that you have that just knocks you out. Can't be drinking Thunderbird this early. Come on, telling me that I was a Giants fan, but now I'm an Eagles fan. And if the Giants were good, I'll never go back. Come on, bro. Come on, man. I don't believe you. I'm not going to call you a liar because I'm not going to do that today. But I just don't believe you. So it was about Saquon. Jeffrey Champion says, don't tell my Browns I'm here. Look, I make fun of the Browns. I make fun of Browns fans because a lot of Browns fans that I know are my age. I'm 49 years old. You've never been good. You've never been good. What were they good for 3 years in the 80s? Other than that, the Browns have never been good. That's almost a half century that the Browns they're just not any good. I feel for you. But I still laugh at all Browns fans. At every one of them. Every one of them. I had somebody the other day, it was a little longer than the other day, was talking to me, telling me, well, the Steelers don't have a quarterback and we're going to be better than you. I'm like, who's your quarterback? Your owner literally just came out and just said that they missed on a quarterback that they still owe over $90 million to. But the one thing about Haslam that I would respect, and you guys know, y'all have heard me say this before, it's one thing to make a mistake, it's another thing to live in the mistake. And even though they got to still pay him, he's like, yeah, we missed. We got to start over. I respect that. I respect it. I'll still laugh at you. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to laugh at you, but I respect that you said, hey, we made a mistake. We got to move on. I like that. So appreciate it, Robert Smith, man. Thank you for saying that. Now, Art's baby doll, I wasn't going to say that the Browns suck. I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, the Browns suck. Now, Jeffrey's he's a cool cat, man. He's a cool cat. He's in here. He comes in here. He stirs up the pot. I love it. The Browns are cursed, but they shouldn't be. Like you would say, hey, the Browns are cursed because Art Modell moved them. Shouldn't the Ravens be the one that are cursed? Like the Browns didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. They just had an owner that decided, hey, you won't build me a new stadium, I'm leaving. And he left. But that Cleveland shouldn't have to burden that curse, should they? Ugh. I hear you, Jeffrey. I hear you, brother. So No, you're right, Mark. You never said it was fair. That you didn't say it was fair. Oh goodness, you didn't say it was fair. You're right. I jumped to conclusions. Maybe I'm on that Thunderbird. I know I keep saying Thunderbird, people, but I promise you, I have not heard anybody bring up Thunderbird, that somebody was drinking Thunderbird in 35 years. I've not, like, that wasn't the drink that I had in college. Like kids, because I didn't drink in high school because my mom taught at our high school. So I didn't want to get caught because my mom would have killed me, literally. But kids weren't drinking Thunderbird at high school. Like, that's what my dad was drinking in the early 70s. And my mom, because my mom lies about her drink. She was on that yak. My mom was on that yak. So, but yeah, Boone's Farm. There it is. Boone's Farm. Yeah, Thunder. I know I keep bringing that. I just never heard anybody talking about in 2020. I didn't even know they still made it. And the thing about Thunderbird, Thunderbird would start your car up right this very second. You have no gas, none. You pour a little bottle of Thunderbird in there, your car will start up, run for 100 miles. It'll go for 100 miles, guaranteed. If I was a Browns fan, I would stick my head in the sand, says Arch Baby Doll. She's right. Self-made, stop lying. I'm calling self-made out, chat. Self-made is lying. Talking about I got Thunderbird on my bar. It's just for show. Stop lying. Stop lying. You had Thunderbird last night. Talking about it's just for show. Man, you better hope it's just for show because your liver is like, hey, bro, you keep drinking me, I'm just going to blow up in here. Thunderbird is just for show. Stop all that lying, man. Because matter of fact, if I can remember correctly, self-made, it was you that brought up the Thunderbird. It was you that brought up that Thunderbird. Wild Irish Rose. Boy, we got alcoholics in here, man. See, Arch Baby Doll's parents drank Thunderbird. They did. Now, you can't touch Thunderbird, self-made. Can't nobody touch that stuff. Literally, you touch it, you drink that, your liver's going to be, you drink another drop. Just one more drop, and I'm blowing up in here. Hey, man, I'm going to run. Me and the missus got to run. We're going to the grocery, get some stuff. We got some people coming over for the Final Four, man. So I appreciate y'all. I will probably be back on here tomorrow. I don't know exactly what time. So if you're in here and you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also hit that notification bell also so you know exactly when the content comes out, and this will notify you. So I got to run to the grocery. I'm rooting for Duke. Oh, take that back. No. I think Duke and Florida are going to win, and I'm rooting for Houston, and I'm actually rooting for Florida. That's what it is. I think that Duke and Florida are going to win, but I'm rooting for Houston because, again, I do a Big 12 Insiders channel. In case y'all want, Big 12 Insiders on YouTube, go subscribe to that, man. Y'all like what we do over there, talking all Big 12 stuff, football and basketball. But I'm rooting for Houston. I'm rooting for Florida, but it's going to be tough for Houston to win. South Carolina? Oh, in the women's. Yeah, I'm going for South Carolina for sure. I don't like Gino Auriemma. Haven't liked him for years. I don't like what Gino Auriemma did to Candace Parker when he kept her off the Olympic team for absolutely no reason. Haven't liked him ever since then. And not going to like it. So, but we'll see. But I'm going to ride out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for showing up as always. Thank y'all for having fun. But I'll be on tomorrow, man. I don't know exactly what time, but I will absolutely be on tomorrow. Y'all have a good Saturday. Stay off the damn Thunderbird. Self-made. Arch Baby Doll. All of y'all. Stay off the Thunderbird. It'll blow your liver up. I will holler at y'all, man.